So hello to everyone. So now when you know that this meeting is going to be recorded, and you stay with us, so this is the good sign that we can start with the event. So hello again, welcome to the final event of the Project Seed Talks, and it is really great to see you here in Zoom, but also on the Facebook pages where all you can see in live how this event is going to look like. So to present myself in the beginning, so I'm Snezana Andric. I'm coming from Niš in Serbia, from the organization Young Ambassadors. So we are working with the young people, mainly in the fields of culture, entrepreneurship, creative industries, and trying to include young people in changing their community to a better. And together with our partners from North Macedonia Social Entrepreneurship Observatory, we are doing this project Seed Talks and trying to encourage young people to become social entrepreneurs. So our project is supported by the Lund University and the Swedish Institute. So since my colleague Stefan and myself were the part of the project and program that Swedish Institute and the Lund University are doing, Summer Academy for Young Professionals. So we are happy really to have the opportunity to continue with these networking events and to, during the previous month, speak more about the social entrepreneurship in the whole region and in the whole Balkan and Europe and the world. So now I will give the floor to my colleague Stefan from North Macedonia, also to say hello to all of
you. Hi guys, hi everyone. Thank you for coming and welcome. Today it's an interesting day because it's the final event of what we have done in the past months. I'm the executive director of the Social Entrepreneurship Observatory, and we're working with three pillars, let's say. The first one is research and advocacy. The second is capacity building, so trainings, courses, and so on. And the third is consultancy. And we have the fourth, which is overreaching and umbrella pillar, which is monitoring the development of social entrepreneurship in the Southeastern Europe region. So this is what Social Entrepreneurship Observatory does. I would not take a lot of time in explaining what we do. You can see on our webpage, www.seobservatory.org, and contact us if you'd like to network and work with us. Thanks.
Thank you, Stefan, very much. And it is really great that today with us we have also Zlatan Milošević from the Embassy of Sweden in Serbia. Zlatan is in charge for the economy sector in the embassy. So I would really like now to hear more from Zlatan and to say to all of us a couple of words what is Sweden doing in Serbia related to the entrepreneurship field and the economy. So hello Zlatan, welcome and thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you, Snezana. It is my pleasure to be here today and to give you a bit of a perspective on what we do here at the embassy, particularly what I do. As Snezana mentioned, within the Embassy of Sweden here in Belgrade, I'm responsible for trade and economic issues. We also, from Belgrade, cover Montenegro, and we do have an embassy in Skopje in North Macedonia. And there are people there that do similar type of work that I do here in Belgrade. So social entrepreneurship, it's quite an interesting and I would say up and coming terminology, which has been more and more taking part in every business, and I wouldn't just say a small or particular businesses, but all businesses across, from very large companies to startups, and although companies are business oriented and business centered, they in recent years they do realize that the employees respond to social and environmental impact actions. When I think of social entrepreneurship, I think of areas such as environment issues, such as sustainability and climate change, but also any social injustices, perhaps that people can come across in companies, such as gender inequality or non-inclusive or low multicultural representation in companies. So it really covers a wide area of issues. And if I could summarize perhaps what I'm seeing as social entrepreneurship, it's an action which is not particularly or primarily driven by pure profit. I would say that although companies have to always be mindful of what they do in terms of their profitability and the businesses to run, this area is not something that's driven by it. Instead, I would say that the impact can be measured by the success of a particular action, or the reinvestment perhaps of a part of the profits back into some socially acceptable issues to basically do more good. And it's really becoming, I would say, a lifestyle for a lot of the companies, a mindset that companies are implementing more and more. As I said, no matter what the size of the company is. And perhaps I think what I can mention is a few examples of how we here in the embassy work with Swedish companies to make things more socially entrepreneurial, so to speak. So perhaps one of the most recent examples which really stuck to my mind, and I really enjoyed it, was we were approached by a National Alliance for Local Economic Development. It's an NGO here in Serbia, which has a membership across the government institutions, other organizations, as well as companies. And they approached us to see if we could help them with an organization which is a member of their network. It's an ethno network, an umbrella association which has quite a few women associations within it. Women associations which manufacture mostly ethno products, and they asked us, if we could help them to promote this women entrepreneurship associations, and to see how we can perhaps promote their products, maybe organize an event, or just put them in touch with someone who can help them develop more. So one of the immediate things that came to my mind was to get in touch with IKEA, which operates here in Serbia, and out of Serbia also operates in 5 other markets in the region. So we turned to IKEA, and IKEA has quite an interesting sustainability and social entrepreneurship projects themselves, where actually they strive to promote ethno products. They strive to promote women entrepreneurship, and they do that in various ways, with a goal that perhaps some of these products can actually end up on the shelves of IKEA stores in the region, or maybe across the entire IKEA network. So we put them in touch with IKEA, and they started talking to them, and right now IKEA is evaluating how they can financially help them with a few products which they think are good enough to be sold across the IKEA network, and we shall see what the outcome is, but it's a match. It's a very nice matchmaking idea, which on one end can help women and promote women entrepreneurship. On the other hand, IKEA, being socially minded company, can also help them and also help with the sale of their products on IKEA stores. So that's one of the most recent examples of what we have done and where we as an embassy helped in that area. Another one that that comes to mind is also the city of Belgrade has started an initiative where they want to plant some 10,000 trees a year across the green areas of Belgrade. It's called the Tree for Belgrade initiative. So they approached the embassy and asked us if the embassy would be interested in taking part. I quickly turned to Swedish companies. We have quite a few of them here in Serbia, and asked if anyone would be interested to take part. The end result is that this spring we planted 289 trees, new trees in Belgrade Park, with the help of 12 Swedish companies. Some companies were able to contribute with 5 or 10 trees, and some with 40 or 50 trees. But the end result is that we have now. We will have a greener Belgrade with at least 289 more trees to come in the future. So that's another example. I would also like to mention a project which is more embassy-wide type project, not just what I do in the trade area, but also, as some of you may know, we have a Swedish International Development Corporation office here, or SIDA for short. It's a Swedish government organization which helps across the world in development assistance, development cooperation, and an office here in Serbia is helping with various projects. Somewhere in the amount of 12 to 13 million euros per year. And we've started last year quite an interesting project which has social entrepreneurship all over it, the label, and that's in the area of biodegradable waste. We have seen that a lot of the waste which can be recycled is being just landfilled. And we have started a project called a challenge call. So we've issued along with a partner, the UNDP office here in Serbia, we've issued a challenge call for companies of all sizes. It could be individuals, it could be municipal companies, it could be private companies, to come up with ideas how to divert that biodegradable waste from going to a landfill, but instead to be recycled either through composting or other ways and other ideas. And I'm happy to say that we have now 9 viable projects which we will support financially with a goal to have biodegradable waste recycled. So that's I could go on for quite a lot, but I think you get the idea that we are very much engaged and very much working on anything that has sustainability, environmental, climate change impact on one end, and on the other end, obviously, anything to do with gender issues and equality, women entrepreneurship in particular, and all those initiatives. So keep looking at things that we do. We're quite active on social media, and you can see quite a lot of those things on our Facebook and Instagram pages.
Thank you very much, Zlatan. And yes, I can really confirm that the Embassy of Sweden is doing a lot, not just in the field of the entrepreneurship, but in all other fields. So, and I can only say thank you for all the work that you are doing, and also for the support that you are giving to the young ambassadors in the previous 7 years. So really, it's great to have you here. And I just want to invite all of you who are following this on Zoom or Facebook. During the whole event, you can send your questions and ask anything to any speaker. So Zlatan will stay with us. So if anyone has some question for Zlatan, please write here on Facebook. We are here during the whole event. So thank you once again, Zlatan. And now I would like to invite Andreas Bringelson from the Lund University, who is in charge for this program, Summer Academy for Young Professionals, that I have mentioned in the beginning of our event. So hello, Andreas, welcome to the event. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting this project. And it will be really great to hear more from you about this really great program for the young professionals from the whole Western Balkans.
Thank you very much, Snezana and Stefan, for inviting us to this event today. We're really happy to see you as our alumni of the SIPE program. Stefan was part of actually the first program in 2019, and Snezana last year in 2020 for the SIPE online edition that we had to go into due to the Corona situation. And actually this week, actually yesterday, we started the third round of the SIPE program, starting also online. So we have a new group of young professionals from the Western Balkans taking part of our program. And we hope that someday in the future, we can join forces with all three alumni groups and meet somewhere in the Western Balkans to discuss these issues and network even further. Because actually the purpose of SIPE, which is a program, I should say, sponsored by the Swedish Institute. The purpose of SIPE is to share experience between countries and also to widen the network within innovation and entrepreneurship. And in the past years, we've had quite a few projects actually focusing on social entrepreneurship. So maybe we'll, for the next year, take an even larger focus on social entrepreneurship in particular. And it's also nice to see that the Swedish Embassy in Serbia are working a lot with these issues. I was myself intern at the Swedish Embassy in Belgrade about 12 years ago. And already back then we were working with issues on environment, gender equality, and all those issues I think go well in line with social entrepreneurship as of today. So I'm glad to see that you're also very active in this field. So a little bit about the program itself, the SIPE. We as Lund University are one of the organizers behind SIPE, but we also have other Swedish universities that on behalf of the Swedish Institute sponsors these training programs. So we have for the Western Balkans, not only training programs on entrepreneurship and innovation, but also for sustainable public administration and other issues. So for those of you who are interested, the program round for this year is already closed, but there will be another round of programs next year. So we encourage you to look at the website of Lund University and Swedish Institute for next year. And if you're interested, you're most welcome to apply. And the program are open for young professionals between 26 and 35 years of age. So we welcome all young professionals from the Western Balkans to take part in our programs. And again, it's really great to see these types of events because SIPE is not only a training program, it is also a possibility for alumni to apply for funds for follow-up events just like this one. Last week, I took part in another follow-up event arranged by alumni from Albania and Kosovo. So we also heard there that in Albania, they're also working like the Swedish Embassy in Serbia are working with a challenge call. They also have a challenge fund in Albania supporting entrepreneurs in the local ecosystem. So I can really see that Sweden is an active country when it comes to supporting entrepreneurship throughout the Western Balkans. And we're really happy as Lund University to be part of that and to support with training and with consultancy to work together with you and share experiences and enlarge the networks, and hope to do so for many years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Andreas, for all this information. And yes, it is really great possibilities and all the opportunities that the psych program is giving to the alumni after we finish this training course. And I just wanted to mention one thing. Before this project, Stefan and myself, we didn't know each other at all. So he was in the previous generation, I was in the last year generation. And our joint friend and colleague, Maria Dimovska from North Macedonia, she introduced two of us, and now the result of this friendship is this project. So I think that this is really important to say how this networking is really a key in making such great things and great projects. Great for the all SIPE alumni that are working in the, not just the Western Balkans, but in the all countries where you have this program or similar programs. Okay, so I think that we can go on with the this event, and we wanted to present you a little bit details about the project, the results, some conclusions. But maybe before we start, maybe it's a good time to see a couple of messages that our speakers from the webinar. So as you know, we had 6 webinars on C-Talks, and more than 20 speakers who shared the really great messages to the young and potential entrepreneurs. So maybe we can now see a video with a couple of messages, and then we can go on with the talk. Later on, we will see a couple of more messages. So I think it's also great that we have today in audience 2 speakers from the C-Talks, Dan and Marta. So if in any time you want to share impressions with us, please, you are more than welcome to share it. So to give you a couple of words about the project, we call it C-Talks, but the title of the project is Let's Talk Social Entrepreneurship. And the main aim of the project was to bring closer the social entrepreneurship field to the young people, to the upcoming entrepreneurs, to the young innovators. And we wanted to raise awareness about this important field, but also to share the impact that social entrepreneurship can have on the community and to motivate young people to get involved in these kind of businesses. So as you know, the whole project was online, partly because of the situation with COVID, but also because we wanted to have in the one place the different actors and the best experts and speakers from the whole world, and also the young people from the whole Western Balkan countries. So the best way was to organize it online and to have them in the one place to share experience and expertise and messages. So in the last 2 months, we had, as I said, 6 webinars, and we tried really to cover different topics. From this beginning, what is the social entrepreneurship and how someone can become social entrepreneur, to the needs and challenges that they have, innovations in social entrepreneurship, and also how this ecosystem is developed, not just in our countries, but in the whole world. And for every webinar, we had a speaker from Serbia and North Macedonia, but also at least one speaker from some other countries, because we really wanted to have these different perspectives, since we all know that in our 2 countries situations is mainly the same with all fields. So And we also developed a website where you can find all the information about the project and videos from the previous webinars. And yeah, the name of the website is ctalks.org, so you can visit it anytime and after all these events. And I think that if we succeed to encourage even one person to start their business with impact, or some existing entrepreneur where to find support and mentorship help, I think that this project was really successful. So now I will give a floor to Stefan to speak more about the results of the project.
Thank you, Snezana. I'm glad to hear what Zlatan presented, that Swedish embassy in Belgrade in Serbia is very active in this field. It shows a political commitment, and that's very much appreciated and important indicator that social entrepreneurship will rise and become one of the fields that drives change, social change and societal change, I may add, in the region. And Andras, the plan is still here to meet every generation on the Western Balkan. Our plan is the same, basically with more members now. The more the merrier, right? But I agree that this plan should stay, and hopefully next year we can achieve it, right? So in terms of this project, so of course we have reached the end of season 1 of AC Talk series. So I'm saying season 1 because from September we would try to basically start the season 2 of these talks, because it is not only about these 6 webinars, but the continuous efforts to rise to the challenge and promote social entrepreneurship in the region. So in the last couple of months, as Snezana already mentioned, we have organized 6 webinars on various topics with the main goal to encourage young potential social entrepreneurs in Serbia and Macedonia to think about social businesses and businesses with values, and to stop thinking about maximizing profit as the only point on the agenda, but to contribute to the society and to their communities. So we have hosted 20 speakers from 8 countries, maybe more, and discussed on several topics. So why social entrepreneurship? How to become a social entrepreneur? Why are they called agents of change? How this ecosystem is developing? And what are the needs and challenges that social entrepreneurs and enterprises face during this whole process? And of course, then the innovation in social entrepreneurship, which is quite important, right? Because social innovation is the driver of social change. And we can see in many developed countries and in Western Europe, and even beyond that, beyond Europe, how social innovation is changing the country and the entrepreneurial ecosystem and the way entrepreneurs or traditional entrepreneurs think. So they are more involved in these social issues. So most of the speakers, as I said, were from Western Balkan region, as Snezana already mentioned, but some were from Europe. So Sweden, Italy, Germany, and so on. And we even got beyond that and brought a speaker from Canada, so to share experience from another continent and in the Anglo-Saxon world, how social entrepreneurship is developing. So we have also created a web page, as Snezana here mentioned, that for promotion and uploading of the webinars, but also to provide sustainability, not only on the project, but of the webinars and our talks. And this website, so www.actalks.org, will be used also for adding additional events related to social entrepreneurship. Not only about this project, but webinars, talks, and future events related to this field. And probably the most important part, also, I should mention that we had more than 200 participants on our webinars. Among them were representatives from social enterprises, and there were social entrepreneurs, representatives from civil society organizations that are undertaking economic activities, businesses with social value, circular economy companies, students, and the general public. So basically, the most important results that we have is that we have raised awareness about this underrepresented field in the region. And we have provided a learning opportunity, a learning curve, let's say. We have networked, collaborated, and enriched our circles for collaboration, advice, and counsel. And then again, we are here if you need any additional information, contact, or advice related to social entrepreneurship. And it's all about working together, sharing and developing. My message to all of you and to those who will see this event and this video afterwards, I would say just contact us. We are here, we are open to discuss anything that any of your ideas, and let's make a regional effort to develop social entrepreneurship. Thanks.
Thank you, Stefan. And I think before we go to speak about the conclusions or to speak about the reality, maybe we can hear a couple of more messages from our speakers during the previous webinar. So maybe we can see three more messages. Yeah, I think that is quite a good messages, and really I think that never mind if we are entrepreneurs or not, we should remember all of them and to use it in our everyday work. So as I said before, yeah, now we want to speak more about some conclusions that we had from the whole project and the whole webinars. And we were speaking with different speakers who were really the expert in this field. And so I will now present a little bit about the situation, let's say, in Serbia. And after Stefan will present it from the North Macedonian part. But when we are speaking about the Serbia in the sector of social economy, this sector is mainly working through the cooperative, civil society organization, entrepreneurs, limited liability companies, and really it is difficult. It is hard to have this exact number of social enterprises in Serbia. We have some statistic data from a couple of years ago, but they are including organizations and foundations that have these economic activities in their founding documents, but there are not a lot of social enterprises registered in the business register as this kind of entities. And since social entrepreneurship in Serbia is based on the production and services providing, they are making their social mission mostly through the economic empowerment and employment of vulnerable social groups. And also the one important thing is that the public sector in Serbia have no enough capacity to understand the importance of social entrepreneurship. And they are, as I said before, usually looking through the perspective of this economic empowerment of some social group, not as social businesses. And in our country, we still don't have adopted a law on social entrepreneurship. So some activities can be framed through some law on cooperatives or law on associations, law on social protections, etc., some strategic documents, but there is no law for social entrepreneurship and the social economy. So the most important contribution to the development of the social entrepreneurship sector in Serbia is based on the activities of the non-governmental networks and association, which are providing support to businesses in different levels, so such as Smart Kolektiv, Track Foundation, or Coalition for Solidarne Economy Development. Beside this, the educational system in Serbia, it is providing education about social entrepreneurship, but is a part of this general economics, entrepreneurship, or maybe social politics lecture courses. there is not a subject on the social economy on the faculties and schools. So another maybe good example of educational and supporting program for young people who are interested in social entrepreneurship is Social Impact Award Serbia. They are working on the European level, but they are really active in Serbia. So they are educational incubation program, which is based on the different workshops and events, but really raising the awareness for social entrepreneurship and teaching young people necessary skills and promoting the best teams, the winners of the social impact award. So also for the young people in Serbia who are interested in starting their business, there are different funds which are supporting development of the business's idea on the different levels. So from the business plan to the product development, so some funds such as Fund for Innovation or Fund for Development, and there are a lot of different programs of the non-governmental organization which are giving support to the open public calls to some initiatives and giving financial and mentorship support to the young people. So trying to sum up, and as I said, based on all these webinars and communication with our speakers, so maybe some key recommendations for the development of the social entrepreneurship sector in Serbia would be at the first place, adoption of this law for social entrepreneurship, adoption of these financial and support measures which are specific for the field of social economy, development and the implementation of this social enterprises register on the national level, increasing the capacity of the public sector for understanding and supporting the social economy, and on the end, development of formal and non-formal educational curriculums for young people in all educational system in the field of social enterprises. So I really try to give you all the information, but not too much. I hope that you get to understand how the situation and how the reality is working in this field in Serbia. So maybe can Stefan continue with the situation in Macedonia?
Sure, thanks, Snezana. When you're talking about social entrepreneurship here in the country, it's still a nascent field, right? It's still in developing phase. So in terms of social entrepreneurship, the main challenge is the lack of policies for development, support, and promotion of the field in the country. So national and local strategies and development plans to promote this field are almost non-existent, are scarce. So it was seen, social entrepreneurship was seen as a low priority on the political agenda, in spite of political assurance for growth. And I'm saying here was a low priority. That's key because now, because there was a lack of intersectoral collaboration and support between national and local institutions related to regional development, strategic planning, and this is all accompanied and related to social entrepreneurship development, right? So in the past year, the government expressed political will to develop a national strategy for social entrepreneurship along with an action plan. And by the end of 2022, it is foreseen a law on social entrepreneurship to be designed and adopted. So this can be considered as developing an ecosystem for social entrepreneurship, because that will what we will do in the next 2 years. And it is foreseen, of course, related to the institutionalization process and the reserved contracts added in the law on public procurement, similar to those in Serbia, as Snezana mentioned. But at the end, now we can see that the situation is that there is no legal framework and definition for social enterprises for now. And this brings to the table the issue of recognition, of public recognition and institutional recognition of social enterprises. The main legal challenges are that there is no regulation of the field and an applicable definition, but we are working on that. And by the end of this year, we will have, probably by the end of the summer, we will have a definition for social enterprises and entrepreneurship, and the strategy will be adopted. And because the current development process is encouraging, especially with the start of the EPTISAS project, support to social enterprises, support by the EU. So it consists of creation of a legislative framework for social entrepreneurship and a conducive ecosystem of the sector. So, and I'm involved in that project as well. So as a consultant, so I'm saying that the strategy will be adopted in a few months. And this is basically the promotion of the field, but also an opportunity for young and upcoming social entrepreneurs to get engaged now, because they will be one of the pioneers of developing this sector. Of course, there are many challenges. So lack of institutional support and financial support, but we're working on that. Ecosystem development is like one colleague expressed the ecosystem for social entrepreneurship development as the ecosystem in the environment, as the bees, who are basically building their own ecosystem to produce honey. And that's what we are doing right now. We are basically building an ecosystem to develop social enterprises and to engage young people to get involved in the field, respecting values and respecting democratic decision-making and good governance. So these are the values that we want to see in the young entrepreneurs. So to conclude, the evidence showed that the ecosystem for development and promotion of the field in Macedonia is still weak and thus not enabled. But if you're asking me after 3 months, I would say now is the time. So be wise and do it right now, because we have pioneers in the country that are working with social entrepreneurship initiatives. We have social enterprises, but they are not recognized as such because we do not have criteria and regulation yet. But afterwards, after the criteria and after the strategy and after the law, and so in a year and a half, the number will scale up, and then we will have a lot of social enterprises working for 12 or 13 years. So they're the pioneers, like the social enterprise Izvor or Pokrov, who are making organic food, vegetables and fruits. The social enterprise Face to Face, which is a street magazine that employs vulnerable groups. So we have social enterprises from a wide range of activities, from work integration to environment to social services and so on and so forth. So now I'm saying that the situation is very encouraging. And basically, if I were a young and new entrepreneur, and hopefully I can still be young, I would say start now. Thanks, Snezana. I will not take a lot of time more.
Thank you, Stefan, and thank you for this positive message at the end. So now we have also here with us, as I mentioned before, Marta Brushi from Diesis Network. Diesis Network is the European network for development of social entrepreneurship. Marta was one of the speakers for our webinar. So Marta, please, can we hear your impressions from the participation in the project?
Hello, everyone. It was nice to see you. Nice to see you all, and some familiar faces as well. Yes, the project is fantastic. I really enjoyed very much the webinars, and I have joined, apart from the one that I was in, I've joined other two. So I think it was very relevant, and most of all, the most important. As what it is that we have connected some young people, and to create the network, to create that sort of a space when people can exchange the practices, not only good but also bad, and see what's there really, what is social entrepreneurship, and what are the challenges, what are the needs, because I think that this is the most valuable, actually, to meet real people and not only to read about social entrepreneurship. And and do research. I think, as my colleague previously said, now is the time to really start to make young people ready for change, because those young people are the change makers. And especially now after COVID-19, I think that is a great momentum for social economy and social enterprises that can really show that this is a very good business model and sustainable, that can bring about the change and and put forward green economy, digital, and make that transition so that social entrepreneurship will not be something ordinary, out of ordinary, something extra, but it will be something that people will consider as normal. So business with the social impact. So I'm really looking forward for the second season, and I would definitely join. Also because then the format was really nice, very informal, very relaxed, and I think this is really big. Really bravo and applause for Snezana and your colleagues, because it was really well done. So yeah, what can I say? Congratulations.
Thank you, Marta. Yeah, I've talked to some of the speakers before this final event, and I like that they had the same feeling, that it was a bit informal, and sharing knowledge between colleagues and sharing information, and of course responding to some questions from the audience. So this was quite relaxing atmosphere, and I hope that it will continue.
Yeah, definitely. And when we hear such a good impression from the project, how to stop now? So thank you, Marta, very much. And I think that we came almost to the end of the event with all that we really planned to present you. So maybe I think that now it's a good time to see another 3 messages from our participants in the previous webinars. So I hope that these messages can really encourage you in everything that you are doing in your everyday life. So I think that for the end, we can give like a moment to all of you if you want to share some additional comments, if you want to ask anyone of our speakers today anything that you think that is relevant to the topic. So please, now is the time. So we would really like to hear your comments and your impressions. Okay, so we should understand that everything was clear and very well presented.
Okay, I would add just wow, what quotes from the speakers, and it came naturally, and I think that if every day you wake up and read these quotes, basically you will be motivated through the whole day. But you know, we all know that life isn't a fairy tale, right? But yes, these quotes can motivate you and help you, and they come from experience. That is the most important part. It's not about the education or something like that. It's about the experience that these people went through it, and now they're sharing it with you. So you're one step closer to achieving your goal because of their quotes, right? Because of their advices.
Yes, and okay, so for the end, I just think we should thank to every one of you for participating, not just today, in previous webinars, to thank to all the speakers for sharing knowledge, for sharing expertise. We really enjoyed it. I want just to thank also to Stefan and his team for the great cooperation. and to thank the Andreas, the Lund University, the Swedish Institute, the Swedish Embassy for really this important support for all of us. And yeah, we are really ready to speak more about this topic and to work more in this field in the home regions. So yeah, we are looking forward for some new joint initiatives.
On behalf of the Social Entrepreneurship Observatory, thanks to all the speakers, thanks to our financial partners, thanks to our implementation partners as well to this project. We had a wonderful time, and see you from September, right? Thank you.
Thank you to all. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Bye.